Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60andMe. Hope you're doing great today. Thank you for being here. I've got a very fun video today on a topic that I hope is of interest to you. It's something that's kind of near and dear to my heart since I love makeup, I love beauty, skincare products, and one of our bloggers, Penelope Whiteley, who I absolutely love, she's so funny, wrote this article about keeping a makeup journal. Now, that sounds a little bit strange. I call it my inventory, but I think what the point she is making is we accumulate so much makeup over the years. If we find things in the shop that we like and it doesn't quite work out, and we just put things in little drawers, and we really never know what is working for us, what we like, what our preferences are. So she thinks that if you keep a makeup journal, you can sort of do an inventory and just make notes about your makeup. You'll have much more control over your purchases and also just get better use out of the things that you already have. So she says she calls them the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I actually do have a lot. Now, I actually do makeup tutorials and videos for 60andMe. So I do end up with makeup that I've tried once or twice and maybe don't like so much. I try to recycle it and find homes for them. But I do have a lot that really needed to be sorted. So I recently did a cleanup, and I've now got the products that I always reach for. And I think by doing a makeup journal, as she suggests, you're able to get to that point too. So let's talk about what it means to have a makeup journal. Well, first of all, let's look at you. What have you got in your makeup box right now? Maybe some of you will say none because I don't wear makeup, and that's cool too. But most people will say they've got an assortment of brands, an assortment of textures like powders and creams. They've tried pinks versus peaches, corals, reds. They know kind of the things that they really love. They know the basics, and it's worth actually going and writing down the ones that you reach for every day. I started doing this recently with foundation. For me, that is the one thing I play with a lot, because I really think that having a good selection of foundation that really works for your skin is so important. And I know it's been difficult the last couple of years to actually find makeup foundation colors online, because that's the only place we've been able to shop. And even from one brand to the next, you really can't tell whether it's going to be too yellow or too dark or light. You can mix them up, of course, but when you find that particular foundation that is like, the holy grail, then just write it down. So I've started recently every morning trying a new one from my collection. And if it works for me, I put it in the works for me pile. And I'm gradually going through and letting go. The ones that I put on and they've got too much yellow in them, I'm never going to wear those. So I put them aside. So I'm actually keeping a little journal of all of my foundations. And maybe your thing is eyeshadow palettes or something else. But maybe just take that exercise to go and check through all in that category and just pull out the ones that you always go for. Now, I've just recently started to do something completely different with my eyes. You watch beauty bloggers on YouTube and you think, oh, they're so amazing. And they're all 25, 30, 40 years old. And, I tried to copy what they were doing, using different transition colors and, a little dark on the edges and all these things. And then I just decided that's crazy. I don't need to do that. So I now have like maybe 3 palettes that have got beautiful colors in them. One is my by Terry, one is Enduring Love by Sydney Grace, and I think there's a Color Pop one, Going Coconuts. Anyway, so there's like 3 that I use all the time, but I've actually focused on single eyeshadows, single ones that I really, really like Urban Decay Toasted. I've got 2 of those because if I ever am without that one, I'll be lost because I love it. And in fact, I think I've got it on today. But so the point here is though that, just find the things in the brands that you love and just write them down. That's the one I always want to have a little spare of, or, make sure it doesn't get discontinued, because that happens a lot too. Anyway, so do your own market research, find the brands that really work for you. For example, I should have showed you, but By Terry is a brand that I really love because the eyeshadows are, for example, very gentle and soft. They're not heavily pigmented, so you can actually play with them and build them. And I think that you have to find the thing that you like about a brand. And, for example, foundations. If you prefer a cream as opposed to a liquid, as opposed to a tinted moisturizer, just know what you like and take an inventory of that, write it down. So Penelope is really suggesting you go even further than that. and you make a list, like a journal. But she says the other thing you can do, because right now, of course, we can't test anything, is she says get little pots and get samples of things, because people will give you a sample to take with you. And if you go in and you ask them to give you a sample and you don't have a little pot, those little tiny ones, they may not be able to give you something. But if you have something, ask for a sample. And also there are some on Sephora and those types of sites, you can actually put in the name and color of a particular product that you know works for you, and then they give you the sort of a recommended similar one for the brand you're reviewing. So that's another thing. So you can't get samples now, but you can understand what you like. So let's start there. Now, the thing that I like the pot thing. I'm going to show you what I do here, because I found that when I put things into little pots, it really, I just start to make a list, like a grouping of things I love. I did this with my foundations, and you're going to laugh probably at this because it is kind of funny, but Z Palettes has got these little palettes that are blank palettes, and they sell tiny little containers. They're like small containers that you can fit inside of them. They're magnetized. So these are actually magnetized foundations and a couple of blushes. So these are ones that I have chosen that really, really work for me. And I put on the back, this is like, this is Believe Beauty. This is my Believe Beauty, which is my $5 foundation, which I love. It's perfect for my skin. This one is called, this is Boots. This is my number 7 Boots. And so what I've done is I've just taken all the foundations so far that I really know I've loved, and I put them into this little palette, this magnetic palette. These cost about $10, but you can do your own thing with a little box. But that for me, and I put my, I didn't put what that was, but that's a blush that I absolutely love. I think that's a L'Oreal, and this one is a Believe Beauty. I mean, really. And that way, these are my holy grails, but they're the samples. They're not the whole bottle, but they remind me of the colors that work for me. So that's kind of one thing I do. And then the second thing I do I think that Penelope talks about this, is my eyeshadows. So I've done the same. This is another little makeup blank palette that I got from Miss USA, which is like a $1 store. I love these. I think these are 3, but it's got like little a mirror on one side, and then it's got place for your favorite eyeshadows. These are all eyeshadows from Sydney Grace. They're not in the Enduring Love palette, but these are just singles I purchased, and these are just the ones that I just really, really love the colors. This one in particular. But these are just a single palette. So I would use like I was describing earlier. So that's one way of putting your favorite colors in a single little palette like that. And you can mix up the brands, of course. And what is in this one? Oh, this is a mix. This is a mixture of different colors that I really, really love from different places. And I do put on the back where they're from. So I want to reorder, I can. So that's my single palette, or single palettes of single eyeshadows. So hopefully that gives you some idea of what I do. And then I've got things on my fingers. But anyway, so that's kind of eyeshadow. Now, eyes and mouth, mascara, eyeliner, keep journaling, because mascaras are so easy to buy. They're reasonably inexpensive, and there's always a new one coming out. And some of the best ones, in my opinion, have been the budget ones, like the ones from Essence and the drugstore brands. But if you find a mascara that works for you, don't lose it in the little pile of, was it that one or that one? Write it down. The Maybelline Sky High, I think it's called, works for me. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise works for me. And then if you buy one that it doesn't work, you can just put it to one side or throw it away or discard it, but don't keep things that you don't like. And that's so true for me of everything. Clothes, household things, recycle them if you can. But makeup's tricky because there's not too many places that you can recycle makeup, I found. So lipstick, write down the combinations. Honestly, this is a combination it's the Guava by Bobbi Brown, and a pink Perfection, I think it's called, by Flormar. And I just love that combination. I love a corally pink, even though I'm wearing all pink. I just find just pink lipstick washes me out completely. So I put a little bit of coral in there, even if I'm wearing pink. So mix them up, but make a note of what you've done. And people often say to me, Margaret, what is the lipstick you're wearing today? I've now started to write it down, because then I know those two things worked for me. They work together, because I've got probably 20 different lipsticks, and They're different shades, different, they're matte versus satin versus, very glossy. And I just want to know what works together. So that's a good thing to do with lipsticks. And you're going to know what you love. Do you prefer matte or shiny? Write those down, and just you'll start to know yourself in the makeup world. I think it could save you a ton of money. And of course, don't always look for the high-end products. You can get beautiful products at the drugstore too. And that's always been my goal, to find those treasures. So a quick tip on products in general that are aging. Beware. I bought some cream products. I won't say from what person, because it was me where they didn't last. And if you keep cream products longer than a year, they're not going to work for you. They're going to dry out unless you really, seal them properly, put them in a plastic bag, and really take care. If you're opening and shutting them all the time, they're going to dry out and they're going to become almost rock hard. And so they're no fun to put on. And they think, oh, I spent $20 on that, but you have to throw them away. They're just not good for you. Cream products you keep continually dipping in your fingers. They're just not, good to keep for longer than the recommended time. Mascara is another thing. Be really careful with your eyes. I've tried some mascaras recently. I won't say which brand because they may work perfectly for you, but they really started to make my eyes water. I was not allergic, but I didn't like the formulation. So just be careful. And if you write it down, you think, was it the Essence, or was it the CoverGirl, or was it the L'Oreal that had that effect on me? But just keep a journal, as Penelope says, and write it down and know which ones really work for you. What else? Changes in appearance. Yeah, if things start to dry up and funny smells, it's time to let them go, embrace them. And finally, clean your brushes. That's another thing that you have to be super careful of with regards to keeping clean. And just, again, make a note when you got something so that you don't keep it beyond its use-by date. Okay, I've talked beyond my time normally here. I keep it to under 10 minutes, but I've talked on a bit because this is such a fun topic. But just, if you love makeup like I do, keep track of it. Know what you love. Know what looks good on you, what suits your face, and give us some tips. What have you discovered that really works for you? I always love asking you to leave comments to these kinds of videos, because you can tell us, what are you doing to store your makeup? What are you doing to keep it safe? How are you keeping track of what you love? Just go ahead and leave your comments in the section below. And please, if you love this video or any part of it, please subscribe to our channel here, and join us in the fun. Press that notification bell next to the subscribe button, and then it will tell you when all these videos are published, so you'll know when a new one is out there. Okay, have a really great day, everybody. Have fun with makeup, have fun with yourself, enjoy your lives, and stay well and safe. And we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.